informants are an immense part of the U.S. criminal justice system. It's just that we never see them. We don't see how they work. We don't see the thousands of deals that go on every year between criminal offenders and suspects and the government, exchanging information for leniency, sometimes leniency for very, very significant crimes. So it's important that the public understand that this is a big part of the way that American criminal justice works. There are really two big issues. The first is unreliability, and the second is informant crime. Recently, in the last few years, there's been an important spotlight shown on just how unreliable information from criminal informants can be. It's become a very pressing issue in the death penalty context. We've seen dozens and dozens of exonerations in wrongful conviction cases based on the use of jailhouse informants. It's actually the single largest source of error in U.S. capital cases, the use of criminal informants, and it's a terrible problem for wrongful convictions. But even beyond the reliability challenge that criminal informants pose is the amount of crime that informants themselves commit. By definition, these are deals between the government and criminals, sometimes active criminals. The nature of the deal is that the government forgives informants their crimes, sometimes very terrible crimes. Informants may continue to commit crimes while they are working for the government. This has been a terrible challenge for the FBI and its mafia informants who, as we now know, have continued to commit heinous crimes while they were cooperating with the FBI, sometimes over decades. It's a real challenge for our criminal justice system to balance and understand. On the one hand, the information that we get from criminal informants can be very important, crucial in crimes committed by organized crime, drug rings, corrupt corporations, corrupt politicians. And on the other hand, the serious dangers of unreliability and crimes that informants themselves commit over time. There's one other issue in this arena that people rarely see and rarely think about, and that is the fact that all too often criminal informants themselves are vulnerable people. They may be young. They may have substance abuse problems themselves. They're very likely not to have attorneys and not to know what their rights are. And because being an informant can be such a dangerous proposition, we have seen terrible tragedies in this area. Young people killed, become informants, come into contact with the criminal justice system in ways that they would not have otherwise done had they not been pressured by the government to become informants. And this is a concern for many families around this country.